this Regis program, and you tune into True School Sports.
Strength and conditioning aspect of it is because like back in the days, like some of the best, like most of the best fighters didn't do any like crazy strength and conditioning, and they could go for longer, 10 rounds, 15 rounds, 20 rounds if they had to.
The sports scientists have something to answer for because they got them doing all kinds of stuff which is not boxing related, whereas the guys of old, they focused on boxing related activities. They would even play handball, which doesn't seem boxing related, but that's hand to eye coordination. So the training was far more geared towards fighting.
Yeah, it's like Roy Jones Jr. didn't lift any weights; he just hit the damn bag, and he saw that worked out for him. He did
thousands of push-up, much like Herschel Walker.
Yeah,
his father used to make him, basically work out till he passed out.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one time Riddick Bowe told me that he never did push-ups when he was fighting. I said, "Damn, well, I don't gotta do no damn push-ups. I just go
Riddick Bowe to me could have been the greatest of them all, but we actually never got to see the full potential of Riddick Bowe. You know that?
That's the scary part.
We saw it. We actually saw it for one night. The first Holyfield fight was the best Riddick Bowe ever in his whole career.
That guy could have competed with any heavyweight ever.
Yeah,
ever. Yes.
Was it the work ethic, the training ethic?
It definitely was. Cause I've been very fortunate to spend time with Bowe, and he even tells me himself, he's like, yeah, when I was fighting, I didn't like to go running, I didn't like to do world work.
That's what I thought.
He wasn't dedicated. Like he said when he fought Holyfield, right? He told me this. He said, when I fought Holyfield the first fight, that was the first time in my career I never had sex during a training camp. That was the first time in his career. He had a discipline to not do that, and it worked out for him. He said that he even told Holyfield, he said that's why I think I beat you.
Yeah, man. The work ethic, I think I get the feeling that you can see him, he's a laid back guy, why go running? Why go running this morning? Why not just I'll go running tomorrow.
I'm going to McDonald's, man. F this. I'm getting me a filet of fish with ketchup. You got me messed up.
Yeah, he's a really always strikes me as a I'll go running tomorrow type of guy.
He is. He is. Like, I'll train next week.
That's the bad part of it. Even at 70% or 75%, he was still better than most people.
Yeah.
That was the scary part about him, man. And if he would have applied himself and just stayed focused, I don't think anyone would. He would have blew out Lennox Lewis. He would have blew him out.
Absolutely. Because people always say, because I'm cool with Bowe. So like people always ask, well, Brendan, do you think Bowe would have beat this guy? Do you think Bowe would beat that guy? And like most people don't name me, I'll say, yeah. If he's at his best, if he's the guy that fought Holyfield the first fight, he's whooping that guy.
Mm-hmm.
But Lennox Lewis had what Bowe didn't have.
Discipline.
Yeah, he did. When he was disciplined, he was hard to beat, and when he wasn't, he got knocked out in South Africa.
Yeah.
Now he was talking about he got knocked out because he didn't train he wasn't used to that elevation when he went out to Africa. That's what it was.
He was in a movie. He wasn't staying focused. He just viewed Rockman as someone he could catch with the right hand and the fight would be over. Because that was the same Rockman who got knocked out the ring. Remember?
Right.
But Lennox was on the Ocean's 11 set. He was shooting a film A, and then B, he went out to South Africa 6 days prior to the fight.
Mm-hmm.
And you know anything about acclimatization? You have to be there long, or if you're going to cut it short, it's going to be 2 weeks. You're going to have to be there minimum. So that's acclimatization for high altitude. I was a kid back then, and I had a handbook, a sportsman's handbook, and it told you about acclimatization for altitude. It says you either go long or 2 weeks, which is short. Lennox Lewis went there for 6 days. I already knew he lost before the fight began.
You know what's so funny? We actually never saw the best of Tyson either.
He was in jail.
Well, even when he came out, we never saw the best of him because years
later, the best when he came out because he'd been in jail for 3 years. So those years, boom, gone.
No, I mean, because he didn't. I mean, if he would have had Customato through his whole career, that would have been a whole different Mike.
Yeah, that too.
No. Anytime you have to depend on another person to bring out the best in you, no. You have, okay, you say what you want to say about Holyfield, but that's what made him great. The fact that he was dead man stubborn. You ever change the mind of a dead man?
Cool,
it's impossible.
It's because of his mama. He'll tell you it's because of his mama.
Yep.
It's impossible, right?
This man always says, my mama said, you gotta do this. My mama said, I gotta do that.
Holyfield's as stubborn as the dead man, which came out in all his. Think about the Michael Dokes fight. It was a point in there where Dokes was killing him with them rapid fire punches, and then all of a sudden he said, "That's enough." Right?
He came back. He wouldn't be denied.
Riddick Bowe beat him. I mean, beat him in the 10th round. He should have never. That fight should have been stopped actually twice. Right? No. And what happened? The man came back. Every time Bowe tells that story, he's like, I don't know how that Georgia Bulldog just kept coming back. I don't know how it happened. Because you can't, he's stubborn. He's just the same thing that you love about someone is the same thing you hate about someone. You just can't beat him.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah, he had that will. He had that will. If Bowe had half of the will, 50% of Holyfield.
Woo. Oh man, he would have been the best to ever live.
Too. Don't forget Holyfield. His name was on that BALCO scandal, where he was caught.
Yeah, he had the drugs delivered to his door. He was Evan Fields, and then they called him and he picked up the phone.
Evan Fields.
No, but you know what I like to tell people about that, right? He's been boxing for 20 plus years. He boxed for 20 plus years, just like Pacquiao. And if he never came up dirty and he never heard these stories about him being dirty, why are people so quick to believe that he was dirty?
Because the Evan Fields thing, and they'll say that drug testing wasn't as stringent back in those days. They say like
yeah, okay.
It
was testing back then too. I mean, it was testing. It was just tough. But to me personally, I go on time. Anything you do in the dark over time will come into light. And it's been 20 plus years. And I'm going to tell you something else. I don't care how much you pay a liar, you could never make them happy. Right? That's what happened with the cyclist. What's his name?
That was a fortune cookie gem you just dropped. Say it again.
You talking about Armstrong, right?
Huh?
You said you can pay a liar, but you can never make them happy.
You can never make a liar happy. He's always going to want more.
Yeah,
so you find a thief. Right. So you can't make a liar happy. So that's how I look at things. If no one has come out and said anything in over 20 years, same thing with Pacquiao. If no one has come out and said, yeah, I was there and I saw him shoot stuff up his ass and all.
He had it delivered to his front door.
That's even worse. I'm sure he was married at the time, and he has a bunch of ex-wives. Somebody would have told the story.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Well, if he had them delivered to his front door, that's the story, isn't it?
It's a story, but
it's his story. I mean, his wife wasn't taking him.
No, but here's the real story. He's fought for 24 years and he's never been suspended, right?
Yeah, but he had. Hold on. If you're having some kind of illegal substance delivered to your front door, there's a reason for it, presumably.
Right. But you got to think about this. Prior to him even learning how to take those and learning about those, he had to learn from someone else, and he had to work with somebody else. Where is that person taught him about that?
Where is that person? That person's 8-time Mr. Olympia, from out of Georgia by the name of Lee Haney.
Right. Okay.
Lee Haney, who
yeah,
Lee Haney, who Evander Holyfield enlisted as a trainer.
Yeah, Lee Haney came along actually later in his life. He didn't start out with him.
No. He didn't start out with him, but he enlisted him as a trainer when he's moving up to heavyweight.
Okay.
And he put on the weight.
Over time.
And then people said he looked kind of, enhanced. And at the same time, he was getting packages delivered to his front door under the name of Evan Fields.
They called
that. You.
He picked up. He said hello.
What's that thing?
I said that.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, they called his phone. They called Evan Fields' phone, and Evander picked up and said hello.
I was alive during that time. I know the story, but my thing is this, right? If he was that filthy, that dirty, and that careless, he would have been busted and suspended so many times. Because what you're talking about is a stupid man at that point.
Because he's working with Mr. Olympia, 8-time Mr. Olympia. There ain't nobody better to get advice when you want to get enhanced.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna say this to you, right? If I'm a dirty cat, if I'm doing anything illegal or anything like that, why would I go pick somebody up who's known for taking steroids if I already know I'm under scrutiny for taking steroids?
He wasn't under scrutiny at the time.
Yes, he was, man. Yes, he was. Because, like I said, I was really into boxing at that time. I was really into it. Now, unless you say that he's an evil genius that says, "Okay, I'm gonna have them. I'm gonna make it so obvious that I'm taking steroids that they're gonna say, okay, well, this guy can't be that dumb."
Well, it's the equivalent of saying that, hey, I was on the scene of the murder. Yeah, I got the blood on my shoes, but I didn't do it.
And that's possible.
If I was at the scene, if I got blood on my shoes, then it doesn't mean that I did it, but it is highly suggestive.
You ever heard that song? You ever heard the song by the reggae artist? What's the brother name? What's the song? He said he got caught cheating, and he told his girlfriend,
it wasn't me.
He told his girlfriend that it wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
Shaggy. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
Sometimes
it was though. It was though.
No. But sometimes the most obvious answer is not the answer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes the most obvious answer is not the answer, but more often than not, the most obvious answer is the answer.
No. Well, yeah, yes and no, but like I'm saying, it's 20 plus years, and have you heard anybody come out and say, well, I saw him take it?
Well, I mean, the Mr. Olympia guys, you may have people not come out. You may have people not come out and say, I saw him take it, but you know what? They take it. They take it.
That's not proof. That's
I know it's not proof. Proof. When you got packages coming to your door under the name of Evan Fields, when you're answering telephone calls from the FBI and the DEA or whatever you call them over there, I don't know.
You should answer. I mean, as a black man, you better answer them calls, yeah.
And you pick up the phone and they ask for Evan Fields, and it's not your wife, and it's in a deep, husky voice. It's probably, somebody going under the name of Evan Fields.
This Mr. Evan Fields.
And it might be. Evander Holyfield. He might just be listen, Troy, if it looks like a duck, it walks like a duck, and it quacks like a duck, bro, it's
probably a pterodactyl, right? I got you.
Duck.
I got you.
But you know what? We're gonna treat Evander like the OJ case, and we're gonna say he didn't do it.
You know something? I have no vested interest in Evander Holyfield being found guilty of anything. I admire him. He gave me much entertainment throughout the years, And so nothing but salutes. But you know, you gotta call it like it is sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I like proof, man, because there's a lot of times when things seem so perfect and they're all in place, and then you're like, wait a second. James Toney, when he fought Ruiz and he won the heavyweight title,
Yeah.
and that right there, you should save that for a trivia question. What was the shortest heavyweight reign in history? 10 days, James Toney, right? So
Was it 10 days?
10 days. 10 days. They stripped him because he was found steroid as his system.
I forgot
He
about
had a prescription from his doctor because of his knees, because him constantly going up and down in weight,
Yeah.
right? That messed up his knees. His doctor gave him a prescription. And he was cleared. He was cleared. So back to your point about if you look like a duck, it ain't always a duck. Sometimes it can be a New York pigeon. You don't have to be.
Yeah, but those are rare cases, though, Troy. Those are rare cases when it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, swims like a duck. It's normally a duck. Normally.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, yes and no. But let's. I'm gonna
Yeah, Troy missed his vocation, man. Troy should have been in the legal profession.
Yo, Troy should be on the X-Files.
Troy should
be a lawyer. Because he will run you down. His name is Zion, and if you know what Zion means, it means peaceful valley. Not in his case.